Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chandrika and this is my second video. So in my first video I kind of showed you a few pieces that I'm making and showed you a little bit about this room that I'm in, my study / yarn room. And today I wanted to start off by showing you the things I make for donations. So as I mentioned, I do make, for cancer patients, I make chemo caps, and this is one that I've made recently. This is actually done with a chunky yarn, so it's quite thick, this one. So that's an example of one of the chemo caps I make. I don't have any more right now because I haven't made any recently, but that's one. And then I also wanted to show you that I crochet caps and blankets for babies in the NICU. So I actually have a few of the caps that I've made. These are some of the caps that I've made, and I'm making them all with scrap yarn, which just means that I'm making it with yarn that's left over from other projects. So you can see that there's a variety of colors in here. That's why there's so many different colors, because I've mixed and matched. So these ones are actually a little bit on the big side. This is a little bit smaller, and sometimes I make even tinier hats. As you know, some of the babies in the NICU are born premature, so their heads are not this big, but I like to make a variety of sizes. So that's what I make for the caps. And then more recently, I've started making baby blankets for babies in the NICU. And so I have two here that I've made. I haven't sewn in the ends yet, but this is one of the ones that I made. And it's not too big. It's just a small little baby blanket. Hopefully something that can be put on the baby while they're in the NICU, or something that can be given to the parents. So this yarn here is also from Hobby Lobby. It's a Stitch 101 acetate. And the pattern that I've used here is actually called Corner to Corner. So I started on the bottom and I kept increasing, and it kept becoming bigger and bigger. And so it was actually a triangle. And then I met the two ends and decreased, and it became into a square. So that's the Corner to Corner baby blanket. And this baby blanket was made with yarn from Caron. It's Caron Cinnamon Swirl Cakes. And I don't remember the name of the pattern, but it's just a simple repeat, a 2-row repeat. And this actually turned out a little bit more like a rectangle than a square. But I still really like this blanket, and I really like these colors. I don't have this ball of yarn anymore because I've used it in this and I've used it in the caps. But I actually wanted to share with you a little bit more about the actual yarn that I'm using, so you can understand how these colors change, or, you know, even in the cap that I showed you, how these colors are changing. So I brought with me one of my works in progress. So I'm making another baby blanket, which is a star shape. You can see that. And in this blanket as well, the color keeps changing, and it's changing by itself. So I wanted to show you the project, and I also want to show you the yarn. So this is the yarn that I'm using. It's called Red Heart Supersaver Ombre, and it's in the color Sweet Treat. So if you look at the yarn, you can see that it's actually keeps changing as you go along. So for some yarns, I use it just as it's coming off the ball, which creates this kind of effect. And for other ones, I actually created a blanket where I took apart all the colors from the ball, and then I crocheted with it. I'll show you that next time. I forgot to pull that out for today, but I wanted to show you that. So sometimes these colors really catch my eye, and I get really, really excited, and I just love the combinations, and that's what makes me pick it up. This is a worsted weight, and it's 100% acrylic. It can be machine washed, and I would just lay it flat to dry. So that's an example of that. And then I wanted to show you the other kinds of designs that I make where I'm controlling the colors. So this is a pattern called the Beautiful Shells, and this is going to be a blanket. I love blankets. So you can see that a little up close. This is also actually a 2-row repeat. So you create a foundation, which is this line, and then on top of that, you would create the shells. These are the shells here. And then when you're coming back around, you put a stitch in the top here, it pulls it up, and it makes it look like that. So I wanted to show you this because I'm using a few different yarns in this project. As you can see, there's gray, kind of red, and a green. My mom thinks it looks like a watermelon. So in this, I've chosen the yarns, and I've actually chosen to hold 2 threads together. So I wanted to show you the yarn. I mentioned this Willow Rise yarn in my last video. This is what it is, Willow Rise, and that's what it looks like. It's showing up a little blue, but it's a little bit more green. And this is from Hirschner's. So Hirschner's is an online store, and they have lots of other yarns, brands, and their own as well. So this is Willow Rise. It is 475 yards, and it uses an H or 5mm hook. And this is actually 58% cotton and 42% acrylic. So when they blend it like that, it gets this really nice effect where it's soft like cotton, but it has that durability of the acrylic. So I'm actually using 2 balls together, which means I'm taking 1 yarn out of each, and I'm using it together to match the thickness of these other 2 yarns that I have here. So this is going to be not too big, but it's going to be just as big as I guess around 475 more yards, however long that takes me. But I wanted to show you these few projects because I just feel like crochet gives me so much room for creativity. I love the colors, and I'm able to decide whether I want to use something off the ball or whether I want to use my own color scheme. That's what just makes it so exciting for me, is that I can have so many different projects, and every project looks totally different. So it's just wonderful to have that creation. Thank you so much for watching this video, and in my next video I'm going to share a few more projects, and I hope to make some beginner videos as well soon. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video. Thank you.